All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. And what's today's topic? I'm going to talk about Harbor Freight's Pittsburgh, the swivel pad C clamps, but also their vice grips. And there's a lot of criticism over this Pittsburgh, brand of vice grips. And I don't know, some of it I guess I just don't understand. Like I said, I belong to a couple of forums and I have a local club where we demo tools and show and tell. I tell you that on each one of the videos because I don't always own the products, but in this case I do, and I'm going to show them to you and explain to you what I think are a couple simple fixes. So out at the club they said, well, did you read through the reviews on these? I said, yeah, I did. And a lot of this had to do with this bolt adjustment here. I said you couldn't turn it in or out. It's so stiff. It's like, the threads just don't smoothly tighten or loosen in the tool, and a lot of people return them. And I've said this on a lot of my videos at Harbor Freight, and I like shopping there like a lot of people. These things are mass produced, so I spend some time and I inspect things before I go up to the register and pay and leave. Or if it's in a box, I'll take it apart in the parking lot and look it over real carefully, because I don't want to go through the trouble of going home and having to go back. Nobody does. It's aggravating. And then they leave these negative comments. But there were two in particular. The first one, like I said, dealt with this actual adjustment screw. It's too tight. It's this, it's that. Okay. Now, you could shoot a little WD-40, a little lithium grease of some kind in here, twist this back and forth a whole bunch of times. That might help you to loosen it up. One that's a little bit more of a pain in the rear end to do is I've got on one of them, it was real stiff when not at first, but when I got down closer, like let's say to closing this thing out, it got to where it didn't want to turn. So I got a tap set. I just took the screw out, I just chased the threads, put some grease on it, put it back in. It works beautifully and it works fine. Now, Bremen, also out at Harbor Freight, they make clamps. They are a little bit more costly, and I suppose they're probably better in quality. I don't own them. Pittsburgh is fine for me, okay, because other than the one tool, like I told you, where I chase the threads, see, these are all Pittsburgh. This thing works totally fine. I've had these for easily a couple of years or longer, and I needed more than just one or two. Actually, I've got some here, and I'll show you in a second, but I bought like probably anywhere from 8 to 10. Some of them are more like a needle nose. Some of them have got like the swivel platforms on them, like this one. I'll discuss those in a second. And I used them a lot. And I also, like on this one, you can see where the tip, I just blasted this with some kind of welding material. So if I destroyed these, I didn't care because they were inexpensive to begin with. They work fine. I keep them oiled. Like I said, you got some kind of oil out there. I oiled them up, a little grease on them. These things have worked fine for years, okay? Now, the other ones I bought, these are Pittsburgh, and I bought these as a set. Let me show you a slideshow real quick on a few of these. Okay, so you can see, I bought these. Here's the bolt mechanism right here. It turns very easily. Same thing on the little one, no problem. And then we'll talk about the one here next. These I really like, these C clamps. And it has these little platforms here. These are Pittsburgh. Now this is a small pair. Now see, the screw turns in and out real easily. It might stick a little bit here and there, but with a little bit of grease it doesn't. It locks fine, opens up fine. I like these in particular with these flat swivels. Now there are two reasons. If I had metal, sheet metal, Okay, like if I'm welding sheet metal of any kind or thin metal, these work great for holding them in place. So I've got probably 3 or 4 of these, and I've got 3 or 4 of the larger ones, plus an assortment of these other ones that I told you. Now, if you wanted something better, and I'll show you the advertisement right now, I also have got a set of Irwin. Okay, those clamps are going to cost you more, yes. Are they better quality? Of course they are. But they're going to cost you more. And so I'm an intermittent user. So other than just a couple of the Irwin, the majority, well, everything that I have is all Pittsburgh. And they work fine for me as an intermittent user. And they're real handy if I'm out in the shop and I'm alone, because they act like a third hand for holding the metal objects together, where it's the, this kind, whatever, the needle nose. I grab whatever I feel that I need. I use them, and they all live on my welding cart. And I have them in like a row on a piece of metal rod, or I just clamp them over, reach over, grab what I need, use them, put them back. If I damage them, oh well, they were cheap, I'll just go get another pair. I haven't had that problem. And so the two solutions, or the two problems were over this bolt right here. It doesn't turn all the way down like it should, doesn't turn out like it should. Like I said, a little bit of grease. I know it's a pain and you shouldn't have to do it, but you can all use your tap and die set and just chase the threads on this, and they work beautifully. But anyway, moving on. What was the other one? Well, they said that after these were clamped, when you go to release them, it'll pinch you. Okay, well, I think that's kind of true. I mean, like with any of these. Okay, now I have some Hardy, 2 sets of Hardy gloves I got from, again, out at Home Depot, and one of them are for welding. I don't really have that problem. I mean, with them pinching me, I'm just careful, I guess, I've gotten to be careful, when I release the clamping mechanism. But I keep them, like I said, with the other tools, I keep them in good working order. Somebody said, well, I took them back because on my wood projects, when you're using these C-clamps with a little platform, when on wood projects, and I use them on wood projects too, I don't like them, I took them back, I wanted my money back, because when I go to clamp the wood, it mars the wood. Well, yeah, it's going to mar the wood. This is metal, and you're compressing it real hard against, like, let's say two small pieces of wood. Okay, if you have, to me, this is like a no-brainer, but I mean, if you have some paint stir sticks, like I've had some old ones, and I just cut them, not a lot, but I'll cut like 6 or 8 small, like 1-inch sections. I have them over by where my woodworking stuff is, and if I'm going to use these swivel C-clamps on wood, you got the 2 pieces of wood, I put the little pieces of stir stick there, I put this over it, and I clamp it. It's not going to mar the wood. To me, that was a really silly ass reason, I mean, to want to return these, because it marred the wood. It doesn't matter if you bought Irwin or anything better. They're going to mar the wood unless you put something in front of them before clamping them down. So I don't get some of these negative comments, I guess. Anyway, I explained to you, I think these are handy. I'm an intermittent user. I'm not in a welding fabrication shop or anything like that. I think they're great. I would definitely buy them again. I have no problem abusing them, obviously. You can tell by showed you the tip, and here I've really ruined it. But I can take a grinder and grind this off flat again. I mean, I'll lose the corrugation, but they'll still clamp. And somebody said, well, they aren't really meant for anything real heavy duty. I've used them on heavy duty stuff. I think it just depends on your technique and how you're using them. But if you feel that way, take a look at the Irwin. The links are below in the description. I mean, you're going to pay $2 or X number of dollars more. And yeah, they're a superior, kind of vice grip or C-clamp, sure. But what's your usage? I mean, are you really needing that? I mean, because I think with these, they work fine. I have also used these and done some modifications. Let me show you a few slides on how I modified some of these, because I figured, look, they're cheap enough. Not quite what I wanted to hold a project, but look, I'll tell you what, I know how to modify them. Let me show you a couple slides. Okay, so when you're out at Harbor Freight and you go to buy these, pick them up, play around with them, okay, before you get them home. Make sure that this thing is turning like it should. You feel fine with how it clamps and comes apart. Pick up a little grease while you're there, whatever you need. These will work fine. All right, folks, that's my review on these, and this is what I think. They work for me, and I would definitely buy them again. I don't need the real expensive ones. And like I said, I can always use these and modify them, and if I destroy them, they're cheap enough. Yeah. All right, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe, keep following me. Use the links below. I do get a couple of bucks off of there. I mean, if you do look at the links and read the reviews or you buy the product. And I've got stray cats outside that people have abandoned. I use what little bit of money I make off of the videos. I buy food and whatever their needs are, and they're like my buddies. They're like my shop cats. They're feral. They don't let me get close to them, but I take care of them. All right, I'll see you folks on the next video. Anyway, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.